Hi, I'm Tawnee Behrens with Windermere Real Estate, and today I'm here with Tawnee of Wyldwood Creative in Downtown Renton. Renton, good morning.
Good morning.
How are ya?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Well, I'm excited we finally got this on the calendar.
Yes, me too.
Between colds and snow and weather and holidays, it's been a while, but I have walked past this place for many years, especially doing my interviews. So I'm super excited to be in here. It's such a beautiful space. I'm glad I'm wearing my pink for the bright decor that we have here.
So we've opened October 2019, so we've been open just over 3 years now. And I opened Wyldwood because, well, I always wanted to own my own business. I knew that from like high school and was just trying to figure out what exactly that would be. When I was in like my early 20s, I was making a lot of things and my friends would see it and they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you made that. That's so cool. I could never do that. I'm not crafty. And I'm like, no, this is easy. Like I can teach you how.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the idea for this came from, is a place where I could share my love of creating and crafting and teach people things. So it was kind of born as a maker space. And then when the pandemic forced us to close, we pivoted into more online retail, which is really what supports the business now. And then as things have calmed down, we've brought back classes. So we're doing classes 3 to 4 days a week. Okay. We're selling all sorts of fabric. Yeah, it's been really fun.
Awesome. What type of classes do you?
We do a wide variety of stuff. So everything from Sewing 101, if you've never touched a sewing machine before. I do an intro to quilting class, intro to garment making. And then we also connect with other local artists to teach in our space. So once a month we have a watercolor, embroidery. We've started doing resin classes, ceramic. We do a whole variety of stuff.
That's awesome. On your classes, how much do they cost?
Yeah, great question. Our Sewing 101 is actually on a sliding scale based on your income level. So that one ranges from $45 to $85. Our other sewing classes are in the $75 to $100 range. And then we have guest classes anywhere from $40 to $300, depending on the materials and the time and that sort of thing. So,
okay, is that for one class or a series or?
Yeah, we have some that are a series, like I'm teaching a t-shirt quilt class right now that's 5 weeks. And then we have some that are single session classes. And then we also offer, if classes aren't affordable for folks, we offer a scholarship program.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're awarding about 1 or 2 a week where they're getting the class for completely free. And that's supported by our community. People donate into that fund, and then we use those funds to get them into our classes.
I was just going to ask if there's a way that we can help you with that. So that's another way.
Scholarship fund.
Great. So besides selling the fabrics, we talked about my red corduroys. Do you make things for people? Do you do custom orders?
That's a great question. Okay. We do not.
Oh,
yeah.
No. I'm going to have to learn. I don't want to.
Yes, we get asked quite a bit. It's just not something we really have the capacity for, but we would love to teach you.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of classes. We have open studio time. So if you're living in a really small apartment and you don't have adequate sewing space, you can come here and rent our space, rent our machines if you want.
Okay.
And we have all sorts of classes. So whatever you want to learn, we probably have a class for it.
So another random question, cost-wise. So let's just say again, my overalls. I'm just going to keep going with my red corduroy overalls. I don't even know, like what, should we say it costs cheaper than going to the store? It costs about the same? Costs more?
That's a common misconception. I'm actually glad you brought that up. And it speaks a lot to, again, considering where the things we're buying are coming from and who's making them, because someone is making them. And if you're buying a $30, $40 pair of overalls from Target, but you come in here and it's probably $60 to $70 for the fabric, $20 for the pattern, and 10 to 15 hours of labor, and you think about that cost, and then you're getting it at Target for $40, something's not right in that supply chain, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so I think that's another part of making your own clothes brings a lot of awareness to that. And I know for me personally, as I've been making my own clothes, I'm much more considerate of what I have. I'm trying to take care of it more. I'm trying to mend it, make it last longer, and not just buy something every week because it's new and shiny, and be more considerate about what I'm consuming.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's way more expensive.
Okay. All right.
Short answer is it's going to cost you a lot more. And there's some fun people online.
There's pride in it.
Yes. You get the pride in it. And there's some really cool creators online who actually track and share all of that information of this is how much I spent on the fabric, the pattern. This is how much time I put into it. So this is a, $800 pair of overalls when you consider all those things. And then they track how many times they wear them. And so, I've worn it 100 times, so it cost me this much each time I wore it.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. I don't want to pay $800 for my red overalls.
No.
Because I am 41 and probably
the labor is the big expense when you think, 10 to 15 hours
Absolutely.
to make something. That's really where the cost comes in, and how do you value your time, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, and it's not just that, because I deal with this all the time. Well, how come your fees or whatever this, because you only did such and such amount of time? It's like, well, yes, but it's experience.
Yes.
Training. It's all the stuff that goes into it. So you can't even just look and say, okay, well, it's 10 hours, especially because somebody like me, it would probably take 100 hours and not look as good. Okay, I have a question, related, but it wasn't planned. So my sewing machine literally is probably 20 years old.
Yes.
But it's been used once.
Yes.
Is it like a phone? Does it go out of,
That's another great question. So, sewing machines, I compare a lot to cars.
Okay.
And just like a car, if you take care of it and you maintenance it and you service it, it can last you a really, really long time. And sewing machines are the same thing. So I'll shout out another downtown business here, Sewing Machine Service Co., which is just around the corner from us. Also Bringing of Renton, so they're a dealer and a service center. So they can get your machine all cleaned up, running like new, or if you're interested in upgrading, they can help you with that too. So, but yeah, sewing machines, if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. I know plenty of people who sew on machines from the 80s, 90s, and they work great. Yeah.
Well, they probably actually work better, most things.
Yes, a lot of the older ones have more metal parts. A lot of the newer ones, they're shifting into plastic. So,
by the same time. Looking at your website, you definitely have some core values that you guys represent that I respect immensely. Very passionate about it. So do you want to kind of talk about some of those? We talked about
for sure.
Racism and different things like that. Where did that come from?
It was more, I guess, when I opened, I definitely knew that I wanted this to be a safe space for people. Personally, I had experience going into quilt shops and not really any directly being mean or rude or anything like that, but just kind of looking at me like, what are you doing here? You're too young to be here. Or if you're asking questions, they don't seem very willing to help, that sort of thing. And I think a lot of people can relate to that experience. And so I wanted a place where you could come in, total novice beginner, and feel welcome here. And that extended to, obviously, no matter your religion, sexual orientation, race, whatever, wanted to make sure that this felt like a safe space for people. So that was a big part of things in the beginning. And then as we kind of grew and evolved and thought about more how we're involved in the community and how much a business can affect their community, whether that be Downtown Renton or the sewing world, I felt it was really important as a business to state our values so that people who had similar values kind of knew what they were getting when they shopped with us, because I think that's something that we've all maybe shifted a little bit, is paying more attention to the companies that we're giving our money to and what are the values that they stand for, and we want to make sure that they're values that align with our personal values. So that's kind of where that came from. One of our big ones is we support the Duwamish. So Wyldwood Creative here is located on ancestral Duwamish lands. They've been the stewards of this land since time immemorial, and we support that by paying a monthly rent to them. So that rent goes 100% towards the preservation and vitality of their tribe, and it's something we try to tell more people about and get more people in this area to become real renters.
So since you have kind of put that out there, have you had anybody that's come in that said, thank you, or this has really changed the way I thought about the sewing world or crafting, or you've given me confident now because I have been shunned before. Do you get stories like that? Or
We do, yeah. There's been a lot of people who have mentioned that specifically this space and this community is a safe space for them and one where they feel welcome. We also have an online community. We're on Patreon. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's basically a platform where people can support creators. And so people pay a little bit a month, and we have a Discord group where we can all get together and share sewing experience or what we're making or help each other out. And so that's been really nice because the online world, when you get into certain spaces and communities, can feel very exclusive or just a lot of, I've been in a lot of sewing spaces online where it's like, I gotta get out of here. I can't handle, I can't handle what's happening here.
Yes.
And so wanted to create a space again where people just feel safe. And so we've tried to do that both here in the shop, online, in our classes, as much as we can, and really kind of challenge the status quo of the current sewing world. I think the sewing world, just like all other communities, is going through a really big shift right now as people reckon with things that have, oh, we've always done it this way, it's always been this way, and well, it doesn't have to be, and we can change it, and even if that's uncomfortable, that's okay.
Yeah, not to sound judgmental towards the sewing world that I don't know, but I just, talking to you and seeing your space, it doesn't seem like the traditional sewing world that I would imagine, right?
I even hesitate to call myself a quilt shop because I think when people hear quilt shop, they get a very specific image in their mind of floor to ceiling, wall to wall fabric, and just a very, very specific thing where I've tried to really, I only carry fabric from companies who, again, values align with ours. I try to support as many other small businesses. So a lot of our little candles and coloring books and puzzles, those all come from other small businesses, most of them local. We have a little featured maker spot where we feature different local artists every couple of months. So we really try to support all of the other small businesses.
It's crazy, and I think that's why I love the Downtown Renton.
Yeah.
No offense to my Highlands and Fairwood area friends, but everybody here has like a little dabbling. So you go to every single store, and it's like, oh, and even like the macaron place, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and here's our cards from our local vendor,
Yes.
right? Why are they selling cards? Who knows? But they're cute, and they do that to support. And so I feel like not only there's kind of a common theme of everyone's values as far as that goes, but then again, kind of going back to what everybody went through with the COVID and the construction. I've never seen a community so united, in my opinion, from the outside.
Yeah, I think us downtown business owners were trauma bonded.
Yes. Oh, my favorite word.
Going through the pandemic together, and then construction, and if anything, it's more like I don't want any of these people to go away. Right. Rochelle at Sparkle, and Ephraim at Boon Boona, and Emily down at Esme and LA, and Jen at Urban Sprouts, like, these are my friends, these are my community. I don't want them to go anywhere. So I'm gonna make sure I do everything I can to support them, and I think they feel the same way. And so it definitely is a community where we try to uplift each other.
Yes, definitely. And if you watch any of my videos, I've, again, interviewed almost everybody, and everyone says the same thing. And I just, I love that. Bring me in. Yeah. I have no space down here, but I want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So it's just great to be able to walk in, and just for me personally, like, I love it. Just coming down here for no reason besides say hi to all my new friends.
Yeah. Renton's an interesting place for how big the city is. I feel like downtown especially has a very small town feel where it's pretty rare for me to go walk to the post office or go get a coffee without running into someone I know and saying hi to someone, or I'm over at Four Generals and someone pops in. And so it's got that small town vibe a little bit, which is really fun.
Yeah. So just to kind of wrap up, I always ask, what can we do to help support you as a Renton community, as, even the other business owners? Like, what do you need from us? What can we do to be there for you?
I always answer this question the same way, which is tell a friend. So word of mouth will forever be the best form of advertising. And I think when a friend tells you about something, you're way more likely to give it a try or check it out than if you just see about it online. So that's always my answer, is just share. Bring someone in. If someone comes to town, bring them in to shop around. I think Sometimes people walk by and think that we're just a sewing store, but I have so many. I have cards and candles and gift items and pins and jewelry and fun little gift items, and it's just a cool place to bring people to, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is. And honestly, that's probably why I never actually opened the door.
Yeah.
I thought, well, don't get yourself started on a craft. just keep walking. Well, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we got this done. Please come down, stop in, say hi, say I sent you, and have a great day. Thank you, everybody.